Hello everyone, welcome back to iMagination's Astrological Lunar Magic series. This episode we're bringing you January 20th, 2021's first quarter moon in Taurus, looking at the moon energies and doing something a little different this time, checking in on how it looks like from a tarot narrative. But before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to do an acknowledgement of the land from where this video is being broadcasted from. So have a watch. In the spirit of respect, reciprocity, and truth, we honor and acknowledge that together we live, work, and play on this land of the people of traditional Treaty 7 territory. The Blackfoot Confederacy, Siksika Kanai Pikani, the Tsuut'ina Nations, Iarhe Nakoda, and Region 3 Métis Nation of Alberta. So, welcome to checking in about our January 20th first quarter moon Taurus. Let's start off by looking at our astrological wheel of the transits for this day. So if you look over to the left top quadrant, you can see that the moon is clustered in Taurus with both Uranus and Mars. I've activated only the energy lines or aspects from the moon itself particular, and we're going to be looking at those lines, the ones that to try and describe what is happening with the energies today and how you may want to integrate it into a magical practice. So I think we will begin first with looking at the square to Pluto. So I want to bring up, to try something different, the tarot cards that go with these glyphs. So the High Priestess is the moon, and this is based on the Golden Dawn, by the way. And the Hierophant is Taurus. Judgment is Pluto, and Capricorn is the Devil. So first let's talk about what's going on from an astrological perspective. When we have the moon in Taurus, we're looking at our subconscious emotional realms, our feelings, our habits and patterning, words, and imprints that we have that we kind of go into autopilot for, that we don't really know where they come from. Taurus is very much sensual, very much about long-term haul, wanting to be comfortable, wanting to be stable, grounded, slow for change, a bit stubborn. So that's kind of the energy in tandem between the moon in the environment of Taurus. So the moon is kind of chillaxing, wanting to be comfortable, wanting to feel nurtured and stable and protected. Now, we have over here Pluto in Capricorn, and that definitely has Pluto being the big transformer, death and rebirth cycles. And Capricorn, the environment of Capricorn is about structure, structure, the status quo, rules, regulations, organizations, institutions, etc. So they are the rules that bind us as society. Okay? The square I like to call as our metaphysical training ground or gym. It's tension, it's stress that we need to put onto our bodies so that we build muscles, so that we change and grow. Let's look at this now from a tarot card perspective. So if we have the High Priestess and we're working with High Priestess energy, to do our magical practice. And the high priestess is hanging out with the Hierophant. Okay, these are almost very interestingly two sides of the same coin, because they are both sort of spiritual religious figures. One is more of the receptive, intuitive flow, and one is more of organized structure, following the rules and, hierarchy, etc. So the high priestess is a lunar goddess. In this card, she is sitting like in front of the veil to the other realm. She sits between the pillars of Boaz and Jachin and is holding the Torah. She is the mystique, basically. She is inner knowing, intuition, without logic or reason. She is the sixth sense. She is the thing that can be experienced of that unknowable thing on the other side of the curtain, right? So she is that which we cannot explain. Sitting in an energy of tradition, values, morals, and creating systems out of it. So I think that's very interesting to consider, because, we have this energy going on here in tension with deconstructing systems, right? Because we have here judgment, or Pluto, right? Judgment here is the day of reckoning. We've got the angel trumpeting, being like, hello, all dead people, time for your judgment day. Let's see what happens. Yay, fun. Sounds like a great time. But these people are in the process of ascension, okay? And you have to die to begin a new cycle, metaphorically and literally, if you think of multiple lives, if you believe in that, etc. Or even if your matter as a human being turns into other matter, that is a new cycle as well. So it can be explained in multiple ways. The devil, don't freak out of it in the way that people think of the devil in mainstream concepts. The devil is simply that which we ourselves bind or chain ourselves to, this reality that can cause us unhappiness, right? It is our own power. As you can see, that which is above corresponds to that which is below, is reflected in the devil, right? The devil is the mirror image of what power can do to ourselves when we are harming ourselves, when we don't believe in ourselves, when we think we have attachments and only these things can make us happy and elsewise we cannot, etc., etc. So we have the need to transform and release all of our toxic mindsets, behaviors, addictions, etc. On a personal scale, for sure, but this is transits on a global level. So we talking global, okay? So we definitely need to look into what is our subconscious patterning? What is our automatic responses around, what we believe to be inherent higher truth? What can be deconstructed? What are the things that block us in being unified, in being uniquely individual but making space for others, right? And releasing things. So that's kind of this energy. Let's go back to our wheel and see what would be the next thing on the docket. So let's look towards the top right quadrant, where the Sun, Saturn, Jupiter exists in Aquarius. That is a very tight cluster, so all of them are being activated in tandem together from the moon energy. And this is in square as well. So let's go look at that. Oops, not that one. We have the Sun card, which represents the Sun. Go figure. And we have the World card, which represents Saturn. Did you know that? Ooh, we're going to have to make space. We have the Wheel of Fortune, which represents Jupiter. And we have Aquarius. Can I make it fit? I'm just going to make it fit. How's that? Doop-a-doo. Aquarius is the star. Oh my. So, from an astrological perspective, this moon energy, again, is intention needing to be worked on, needing to have training and practice, and build resilience in how we shine in the world, the sun, how we represent ourselves, how we act, how we are consciously behaving, which is interesting because it's hard to work with your subconscious from a conscious level. Also, in our social structures, because of Saturn, and with great benefit for the whole. Jupiter, great benefactor. Aquarius, unique individuals, new identities, unique, quirky, rebellious, inventive, innovative, but also about the collective of people. Okay? So, look at your institutions and your subconscious patterning that's probably been ingrained by the institutions, and see how you can consciously shift and grow. Bring awareness with this square. When you may be doing something that does not align to morals about acceptance of the collective, about shifting. And why do I say shifting? Because we just had that transformation energy of Pluto, and here you can see the World card is about ending chapters and beginning something new, with the blessing for it to be expansive and wondrous and shiny. Brilliant. In what way? In a new inventive way. In a way that we have not yet seen. In an evolution way. So let's look at these cards now. The Sun card, your self-radiance, your self-confidence, your self-esteem as an individual, but also about how we shine as a species, you know, how we take in vital life force, how we give vital life force, connecting with the cycles of nature. Ending chapters, having learnt, having gone through the process of the four, I think they're called cherubs. Maybe I get that wrong. But anyway, the four corners, the four elements of wisdom, and then completing one cycle and beginning the next. Again, same cycle, same creatures. Except they're in study here, so it's time to start learning the new. We are blessed to be able to start learning new. We are in the fortunate cycle. Now, some people may not believe in fortune, but I consider it as part of natural cycles, like seasons. There are good times, there are bad. There are bountiful times, there are lean times. Everything has the fortunate time and the reversed. So this is the time of fortune, even though we may not feel like it because we're going through a death and rebirth process. But it's all trusting that this is important to shift in this way. Instead of holding on to the old, instead of going, this is the way that it's always been. Nothing has ever always been a way. Okay? Civilizations have risen and fallen. Cultures and practices have shifted and changed. Now we're in the global world. What can our global narrative shift and change collectively for the greater good of the collective? And I think the collective includes more than just humanity, I want to say. I think this is like considering all life forms, all energetic beings, the earth, Maybe I'm a little radical that way. But this isn't just, looking at other humans and being like, I treat you better, yeah, sure. No, this is about everything, because we're all connected, and we need to be innovative in how we think about our connections to one another as beings and how we want to treat one another. Back to our wheel. Let's look in the next portion. And I would like to look at the south node. And the south node, if you may not know this glyph, is in the top right hand quadrant. It is the blue U-shaped icon or graphic or glyph in the sign of Sagittarius. So let's go look at our cards then. And I forgot to get rid of this one, and we're going to bring up the south. So we have a trine energy happening to Temperance. And Temperance is the card of Sagittarius. There is no card for the north node. Actually, I'll just give a little bit of an explanation here. The north node and south node, and I may have just messed that up, but I was talking about the south node, are mathematical points of the moon's orbit crossing ecliptic planes. I think I'm getting that right, or either it's like the closest and furthest away. I don't think it's the furthest away. I think that's Black Moon Lilith. I think it's about crossing upwards and downwards of the ecliptic plane. Crossing the ecliptic plane on the north and south. Yes. In other practices of astrology, it is considered the head and tail of the dragon, and it can be said that the south node is the blessings that we bring from previous lives. And that's if you believe in reincarnations in previous lives. Great. The other way I like to look at it, if you don't ascribe to that model, is your natural affinities. Now, this isn't your natal chart, so it's not going to be your natural affinities. This is the natural affinities that energetically is projecting on the world right now. We'll get to the north next, but let's just focus one thing at a time on the south. So let's go back to the glyphs and the cods. So, trine energy, able to flow smoothly within one another. Is it trine? Can't be trine. It may be sextile because trine should be the same elemental sign, and these aren't. So either way, what it is a smooth flowing energy. If it's not a trine, I apologize. And smooth flowing makes it easy, which means there is a high chance for apathy. And what do I mean by apathy? Because you're like, easy should be good. Well, it is very easy to just dream and fantasize about the future and how wonderful we can imagine it. But are you doing anything for it? No, you may just be dreaming in your heart. The other thing, though, that I want to say is that it also allows for belief, internal belief, that everything will work out right, everything will come to balance, everything will stabilize. That is absolutely wonderful, to believe that, easily release your stresses because you have divine faith in the fact that everything is going to balance out. Great. What I will recommend, though, with this is to not be too apathetic with it, right? Temperance is balance. So yes, release your stresses, believe that everything will work out, but don't be apathetic. Put in the work of the squares to be able to bring it to fruition instead of just fantasizing about it. Participate in bringing this reality to fruition, because each of us is a magical practitioner with how we bring things into this world. So, with that being said, let's remove the south node and bring up the north node. Now, this is not a major Ptolemaic aspect, this is a semi-square, but I want to bring it up as something to consider after everything that we have been talking about. And that is challenge in communication and thought processes, Gemini. And Gemini is represented by the Lovers. So there could be tension on being okay with releasing some things from your institutions, from your patterning and habits. This is the challenge that you're being asked to do. You may also have issues with communicating your thoughts in a balanced way to other individuals. You may have issues making choices. And it's really our choices that are going to affect reality. So the Lover's card is very much about choices. Picking paths, keeping things, leaving things behind. And since it's in a semi-square, I like to think of it as the add-on of work, the extra bonus that we really should be doing once we've worked out. This is all to garner our communication skills. So have mindfulness around the Gemini communication skills, because we can be quick to analyze and quick to give opinion and quick to respond from, our old patterning, our subconscious knee-jerk reactions, and our own personal dogmatic beliefs. So it is our challenge to grow in this area, to be able to hold space for two sides. And it's not just two sides, but Gemini is a two-side kind of thing. So I'm going with that metaphor, okay? So yeah. This is your challenge, and I put it forward to everyone, myself included, that we need to be mindful of how we're communicating globally, trying more so to find the space in between, right? The space where the divine is, that allows for that type of communication of different ideas without freaking out about it, without screaming at each other, with being able to have civil discourse, with being able to allow space that other people have different religious beliefs, practices, etc., to allow communication openly about that, to share. And this is where we need to grow. The last piece that I want to bring up is going to be about a quintile to Mercury. And you can see that up where the Sun, Saturn, Jupiter cluster is in the top right quadrant. Mercury is at the end there in 19 degrees in Aquarius. And, I feel like I forgot to show you the glyph for North Node. I apologize if that's so. It's on the lower left quadrant. It's the blue headphones in Gemini, just so you can see that. Back to Mercury in Aquarius. We're going to head over to our glyphs. I'm going to remove the North Node and then do quintile. Mercury is represented by the Magician card. And I'm going to bring up Aquarius with this for us too, because look at that. Look at these cards. This is such divine energy. I want to share with you a very beautiful quote on quintiles, because quintile is the number 5, and a lot of people can consider things about 5 as to be chaos, okay? And yes, there is tension that comes with this because things are coming in from multiple aspects in a 72-degree angle, but I also think it's creative chaos, and here's why. A quintile aspect is the basis of the 5-pointed star cycle of creativity, beauty, art, and magic, inclusive of talent. Herein also lies the golden mean. And I think that's just wonderful. It's about finding our talents and being able to use them. What for? We can harness moon energy, our intuition, our inner knowing and wisdom that we can't really explain how we have it, as well as our actual external practices, whether that's meditation, magic, altar work, nature, headspace, I don't know, whatever your actual structure of practice is. Finding creative ways to work within our mind to be able to work magic, our hermetic energies of as above, so below, having all the tools necessary to be able to bring what we envision reality to be into being, and it being influenced by the star. Something new, innovative, never before seen, considerate of the collective, and celebrating the uniqueness of all together. And I think that's something really beautiful. So this is how I wanted to end, was to talk about this quintile energy and to suggest that you use it as your concentration point on creating something new out of this energy. So whatever your practice is, whether you do meditation or visualizations, or you're doing high magic, ceremonial magic, nature magic, hedge witch, etc., all the different terms, doesn't really matter. It's about engaging, it's about practicing. This particular series is based around lunar energies. You can do it with any energies, but this is the part that I'm focusing on to share. So let's recap a little bit. We need to think about our death and transformation processes with the Devil card that binds us. We need to figure out ways that we can grow, shine, be confident and radiant, changing and shifting our structures to be able to be open and accepting of the Aquarian energy. It is easy for us to just fantasize, but it's also easy to release stress, to believe and know that things are going to get better. We need to practice our communication skills and our thinking around dogma and patterned behavior. And then we need to take all of that and put it into practice with our magical ability. And all it is just knowing that whatever you do contributes. So you have the ultimate power of bringing forth reality. So with that being said, that is the end of the energy for this Lunar Magical series. I hope you enjoyed it. This is imagination, presenting some magic for your future. You can always check me out at imaginationwitch.com. Please like, share, subscribe. The bots need to know that on the YouTubes. You can also check me out on Instagram at imaginationwitch if you would like to do that. I'd love to hear your comments as well. I'm just going to bring up my face instead of being like a random graphic. I'd love to hear your comments on what you think about integrating the tarot cards into the astrology. Do you think that provided some more insight? Do you think that gives a new perspective on it that you want to continue to keep discussing? Let me know. Happy to hear about it. Please share, if you are willing, what you've been practicing in your magical craft. Love to build community around these discussions. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and thank you so much.